Hi, I'm Maggie Ricci from the Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning at Indiana University at Bloomington, and I'd like to welcome you to the Flipping Your Class the IU Way mini conference. So if you're watching this, you're already flipping. What we're doing for you right now before you come to the conference, we're going to model for you what it would be like for you to be a student in a flipped classroom. So the first thing that you've got is an assignment. What we want you to do is to come to the workshop prepared to design a flipped class session for your class. So in order to do that, we've provided for you some resources that you can look at, and we've given you some questions that you're going to answer in the test and survey tool. And that will sort of help guide your looking and reading and looking at those resources, the videos, etc., that we're going to provide for you. The little wrinkle that we've got in our ideas about flipping the class is that we want to make sure that we use just-in-time teaching as part of our flipped class model. As you're looking at some of the other resources and readings that we've given you, not everyone is really talking about that important connection between the out-of-class and the in-class work. So for a little overview of what our day will look like, we're going to start out with our first session where we'll really be just mapping out your whole class. That will include the in-class activities, the out-of-class activities, what kind of assignment you're going to give your students in order to come prepared to do the activities that you want them to engage in your classroom. Second thing we'll be doing, we'll be showcasing some examples with faculty that are already flipping their class. So you'll get a chance to talk with those faculty members about what they're already doing and ask questions. We're also going to slip lunch in there for you, so don't worry, we're going to feed you. Then after lunch, we'll take some time to design those in-class activities that you want to do with your students. Whether that's going to be some kind of discussion, case study, team-based learning, a lot of things that you can decide to do during class to get those students really thinking the way you want them to think. Then we'll have a chance to look at the tools that are going to enable you to do this flipping of the class. So we'll have a lot of stations set up for you to go and have a chance to look at and maybe play around a little bit with some of the tools that you might be able to use. And then finally, we'll wrap up together and look at the things that we've learned about. So now, what this model really looks like. If you've done anything with us at the Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning here, you know that we're always going to start with student learning outcomes. What is it that you want your students to be able to think and do by the time they're done with this class session? Then we've got to think about what are the outside activities they're going to do. What are the resources that they need in order to come to class prepared? What might you want to ask them to think about when they're getting ready to come to class? And we need to design the inside class activities. What will you do if you're not spending the whole time lecturing? And in order to really make these things work together and connect properly, this is where we like to use just-in-time teaching, where you're really thinking about holding your students accountable for their learning and coming to class really prepared to engage and work on those activities on the inside. Finally, in order to find out if you really accomplished what you set out to accomplish, you'll want to use classroom assessment techniques to find out from your students what they've learned and what other questions they might have remaining. So as you really get into this and you start with the design of these different types of things, what does belong outside of the class? What does belong inside of the class? You're going to find out it's a bit of a juggling act to really make these things work together properly. So you might have to change some things back and forth and play around a little bit, but that's what our workshop is really about. We're going to have you folks working in some groups and really bouncing ideas off of each other and trying to understand what's going to work the best for your students to achieve those learning outcomes that you've set forth at the very beginning. So we're looking forward to seeing you.